All right, let's go now to a new animation program or a new program we can use for animation. So I'm going to go to Launchpad and I'm going to look for Adobe Animate. So go ahead, flick through your screen so you find this guy right here, Adobe Animate Creative Cloud 2018, right there. Go ahead and drag that down to your quick start bar. You should have that down here now. And click on it to get it started. Might take a few minutes the first time or a few seconds, but after that it'll fire up like this speed here. All right, so this is the opening screen here. So we want to go to Action Script 3.0, create new column, Action Script 3.0, and this gives us a stage area that's 550 pixels wide and 400 pixels tall. Okay, so pretty close to what we've been doing. So we'll be able to just keep things this size. We're working at 24 frames a second, so you can see the timeline here. Each one of those little rectangles are frames. We're on layer 1. There's one layer to start with. We'll stay on this just one layer today for this project. And you can see each of these rectangles represent a frame. So right about here, 24 frames, you can see it says 1 second. And at 48 frames, there it says 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds. That's of animation. You've got to create all of the artwork that goes in these frames, but we're going to use doubles. So we're actually going to only animate new screens on the odd number frames, and the even numbers are just going to be copies. We'll still be able to fool the eye into thinking that things are moving. All right, so to get started with this first project, I'm just going to show you the brush tool and the eraser tool. So I'm going to go here to the toolbar over here, and I'm on the essential view, by the way, essentials, which should match with what you're doing. And I'm going to go to the brush tool, which is right here, B for brush for the keyboard shortcut. And we were looking at the fill color here, the bucket tool. So pick the color that you want to use. Going with, now I guess I'll go with a magenta. And we could change the size here of our brush. You can see the brush there. You can see that, or you could change the size, right? You could also use the bracket keys like we've been using with the other programs. Next to the P, right next to the P on the keyboard, the left and right brackets make brush size smaller or bigger, right? Okay, I don't want all that, so let me erase it. So here, let's find the eraser tool. It looks like an eraser right there. Eraser tool, E for eraser. And it's also a brush, so I can use the bracket keys to make it larger. And I could just come in here, well, let me make it even bigger. Ooh, went from square to circles. There we go. Okay, and I'm just going to erase all that. Get all that stuff off. Frame 1, layer 1. Okay, so back to the brush tool. And I'm going to just write text. Now you should have a pen and you should be using your tablet, your Wacom tablet, the drawing tablet that you got. Make it much easier. You're going to see how much I struggle with the mouse, using the mouse, because I don't have one hooked up to this computer right now. But we're going to just handwrite some text. It's going to say animated by, and then the second line will have your name. And we're going to run we're going to just create, let's say 12 frames. Let's do a half a second, and then they'll just repeat that forever, and it'll look very animated. So I'm going to go and put animated. Animated by. And maybe I'll put the by right here. And then my name. If you're using the pens, much easier. Do this much faster. And do more layers. Make it look even better. You could even change colors on these guys. All right, so animated by Mr. Jaffe. That's on frame 1. Now, I'm going to make a copy of this so that remember I said only the odd number are new, so we want to copy frame 1 to frame 2. To do that, we're going to go up here to the menu, very top, animate menu, I'm going to click Insert, go to Timeline, and I want keyframe. I want to copy the keyframe. Okay, so now you can see I've got a copy of it on frame 2. And now I want to create a blank keyframe. So I'm going to go to Insert, Timeline, and Blank Keyframe. And you could see that on frame 3, it's a new blank stage. Okay, but I want to be able to see what I did on the previous frame 1, actually, right, for previous 2 frames. So I'm going to go down here to this bar, and I'm going to turn on a feature called onion skinning. It's right there. This is extremely important that you do this, that you pay attention to this video, and you're looking at this right now, and that you click on the onion skin option right there. That will allow me to see, kind of like ghostly see, the layers below it. I'm sorry, not the layers, the frames behind it, which will help us, guide us through making duplicates now by hand, right? So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And I'm going to pause here and make these frames so you don't have to see them, but you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna just keep making this. You're gonna keep tracing over this as you see it there. Okay, all the way, animated by, and then your name. Okay, and then you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna keep that loop going. Right. All right, so there, I sped ahead, did that. So I'm going to go ahead now and go back up here to Insert, Timeline, and the keyframe. But you know what? Before I do that, I want you to check something. On your keyboard, at the very, very top, you have the function keys. Way at the top, you have F1 all the way to F12, way up at the top of the keyboard. Hopefully you're paying attention to the keyboard and what I'm trying to say here. The very, very, very top, above all the numbers, these function keys. Well, F6 is actually the keyboard shortcut for that. So if you hit F6, you don't have to do the insert timeline keyframe. However, it might not work for you. Okay, so I'm going to hit F6. See, it made the copy. And then I'm going to hit F7 because F7 is the same thing as doing the keyboard shortcut for blank keyframe. Hitting F7, so I'm going to hit F7. Now, if that doesn't do anything for you, if nothing happens, then you need to continue to do the insert timeline keyframe and then insert timeline blank keyframe until we can get that to work, all right? Which will be, I'll get some feedback from you. You can let me know if it works or not. Just send me a message through Schoology, and if I need to give you some instructions on how to make that work. But in the meantime, you can use the insert timeline keyframe. You're going to keep doing this, keep making these new keyframes all the way until you get to frame 11, and then we'll make a copy to 12. Okay, so I'm going to pause this right now, and then I'll meet you there. All right, so I got through my layers, and I did that insert timeline keyframe and blank keyframes to make it all the way across here. And I realized I've got an extra keyframe at the end here, frame 13, it looks like, right? 10, 11, 12, 13, so keyframe. So I want to undo that. I don't need that last one, so I don't want it to skip blink at all from a missing frame. So I want to make sure that all the frames in my animation have those black dots on it. Never have a frame with a white dot. That won't be right. It'll flicker then. Now I want to play it. And you can see if I click the play right here, or just move the scrubber, right? I can play it. But if I want to see how this would play as a movie, like an exported GIF, then I'm going to do the command return. So hold the command key down and hit the return key. It'll open up in a window and it'll play. Oh, look at my little eye dots trying to get away. Comes back. So that's a half-second animation looping at 24 frames a second. So playing twice per second. You're going to just do do something similar to this, right? Maybe mix up the colors, maybe add a little more pizzazz to it. Be as creative as you want on this, but it's basically just credit, a little video clip or an animated GIF that you can use for other animations where it kind of gives you a little credit or title. Okay, so to export this now as an animated GIF, we're going to go File, Export, File, Export, and we're going to go to Animated GIF. Okay, GIF, Animated GIF. File, Export, Animated GIF, right there. And we're going, let's make sure it says GIF here. Yep, sure should. Transparency, let's make sure we turn that off. Okay, we don't want checkerboard, so let's click a check. Oh no, we want to uncheck that. So we have a white background. And actually, you know what? Let's keep the transparency and use the background of whatever video we're putting this in, or in this case, just have the background of your web page showing behind this animated GIF. So we're going to make it transparent so you can see what that looks like. Keep it at 550 by 400, and that's it. We can go ahead and click Save. And we're going to call this, this project is AnFrameFL. It's going to be an animated GIF. It's going to go in your documents. All looks good. Click Save. Oops, I got to replace it. And there you go. And now let's save this project because we're not done with it. Need to go back to it or add something down the road. So we're going to go see what I just did. File, Save As. File, Save As. We're going to call this AnFrameFL. Keep it in your Documents folder. Click Save. Also, we're going to need to replace that. And now we can go up here to Quit Animate. And you want to log in. Just go ahead and say yes to that, just in case. You want to log into your graphics page. Sorry, your Wix page, and go to your animation page, and you're going to upload AnFrameFL.gif right here. You see that under your documents, AnFrameFL.gif. Upload that to your Wix page, your animation page in Wix, right? And label it as AnFrameFL. Keep it the size it imports as or uploads as. And you got it done. Good job.